All right. Hi, everyone. This is Julia from Simplicity Revealed. And now I'm going to have Simplicity Revealed 2 and James from
Hi.
Dr. 144. And we've done talks together, as some of you may know. And one of the reasons we're having this talk now is to help me find some of my people because I had all my computer doings, all my online everything, accounts, information, only on two phones that I had. And I had one phone where the audio didn't work, and the other phone was kind of screen was messed up. And so I had you just use both of those. And I was like, oh, okay, it's still cool, I'm still able to do all my technological things. So I was fine with that, but I had procrastinated getting like a little tablet or something just for a backup, especially since both phones were malfunctioning. So that's a lesson on procrastination. And that's one of many, many, many lessons I've had in the last few days. So, anyway, both of those phones are not available to me at the time. And the reason is because the police have them. That's right. The police have my phone. And the reason the police have my phones is because I was growing some plants. And in Portugal, unbeknownst to me, it's not legal to grow, although all drugs are decriminalized. And anyway, the neighbor said it was on his property, which it wasn't. It's just, I thought it was the property I was living on. It's back behind the house I'm living in, a ways. But anyway, he's a cop caller neighbor. He reported that and filed charges on my landlord because he said her dog bit the bumper of his car. So anyway, and then since I've been here since April, he called the cops on these other ladies that were trying to buy this dog that he had chained up over there. But anyway, so he's one of those kind of people. So anyway, he calls the police, and so for 2 weeks they had been watching me, which maybe some of them heard me do Mace Energy Method sessions and got some healing. But I'm sure they were just bored to death watching me. There she goes, walking the dogs again. There she goes. There's that guy with the cane limping along for a while. My nephew, because the reason I grow cannabis and, to save money, Kenneth needs to have it because he's a stroke victim and he's prone to seizures. And as long as he has cannabinoids in his system, that prevents seizures. And of course, it has lots and lots of other therapeutic effects, and I use it too for all of its therapeutic effects. And anyway, we also often make um, edibles and concentrate. So you need a lot of product for that, and you want to stock up. And the laws here are so interesting um, because everything is legal. If you're caught with heroin, it's okay. And if you're caught with hard drugs, if you're caught selling hard drugs, they'll be very lenient on you if you're selling it because you're an addict and you need to sell it to support your habit. But if you're selling it for any other reason, then you get, stricter punishments.
Hmm.
But for my offense, from all that I understand, it'll just be a matter of fines when it's all said and done. But in the meantime, I have my all my accounts that I can't get into. And I'm waiting to hear from Google to maybe get into my Gmail. And, I can't get to my YouTube channel, my Facebook, any of that. So that's been a real pain because I've just started getting Mace Energy Method clients because I recently became a practitioner, as anyone that knows my channel might know, and doing dialogue with them. In fact, I'm trying to get in touch with one person who I need to give a follow-up session to on Friday, tomorrow. And so, yeah, it's been a real pain. And they wouldn't even let me like check emails with them looking over me or anything because that's hardcore evidence for them. So, yeah, now I just got to wait that out. And yeah, I'm trying to get Kenneth's medical um, eligibility to get cannabis in the meantime and just take it from there. So I just wanted to explain to people who might be looking for me, not that I'm that popular or anything, where I'm at. I'm still here, still in Portugal. And so is James, and he's down the road and he's doing he's getting ready for his community to show up. He's got a great, great place, free to live there with running water. You can't beat it, and enough electricity to keep your phones and devices charged. And, that can all be improved upon. So we found one of the things I found out through all this was that they could care less about residency status here. So that's very nice to know. And you know, if you go into the system and try to do everything proper and according to protocol, then they care. But if you just come and act like it doesn't exist, they do the same. So that was something that was learned through all this. So anyway, James, what do you think about all this?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is happy solstice, I suppose. It's almost like this is well, one, it's a test as do we do we react or respond? Because I sent you a message and it just was showing up as sent. And I thought something's up. I thought, I thought, well, I'll find out eventually. So I knew there was something. I know sometimes the phone connections and things can be strange, and when messages come through, there can be a delay. But I thought this is not. This feels different. So I thought, something's happened. But it's good. It's good the information that's come out of all this, and it's just a test, another learning curve, really. Because potentially, if I go out, I could find myself in awkward situations, shall we say, with authorities, and but it is so laid back here. It's probably the best country to be in, really, because you get left alone, especially sort of living in this remote valley, which it has its challenges, but it's different challenges from in the outside world where it stresses about how am I going to pay the mortgage, how am I going to pay this or that bill, because it's natural water, it's free for the next 4 years at least. Living here is free. Um, Solar panels provide the electric for devices and things. We've got gas um, for cooking, and got a solar powered shower. So there's zero bills, zero rent. So all those stresses are taken away straight away. But it'd be ideal to uh, anybody who's got particular skills and then can teach others those skills, whether it be carpentry or uh, growing things the most efficient way, anything like that. Ideally, I'd like to get a sort of errants university um, and run courses from here as well. And it's like an open invitation to anybody who's of leaning towards the archaic way of thinking, who isn't a true errant, who wants to walk their own path, then it's shown in everything spiritual. If two or more gather, it's exponentially greater. And I've experienced and witnessed this at that sound healing event when a gathering of that many people, the energy that's generated is phenomenal.
That's true, and
And
that's why things like those Joe Dispenza events that people go to and get healed at, they're almost like the televangelist, with this laying on hands kind of healings, and it's all that. energy focused like that with all that intention. It makes such a difference. So yeah, the more people that can get out there. So anyone that wants to be free, and this is a good place. I'm sure there are other places too, but if this would have happened to me in the US, in Texas, yeah, I wouldn't be talking to you right now, probably, because of, they treat everything like it's such a big, big deal. And, we have natural law. Some people call it God's law, right? And that's what I always live by and always will. And, you mentioned that you need to respond instead of react. And, that's how I handled all this too. Even while I was going through it, I was pretty nervous at some points, the same nervousness that I got when I was about to take finals when I was in college. Same exact kind of feeling I would have then. But that passed once I realized. And a friend just said, just think of the worst possible case. The worst possible scenario didn't really bother me. So it wasn't bad. And all the work I've done on myself, and especially lastly with the Mace Energy method, I just had a total calm all through this, and like it is what it is, and I'll adjust accordingly. And that's all you can do in life, and just learning a lot, and it's always messages when things happen. It's messages from source. And now I just got to figure out what the messages are, and maybe it's a message to move on. I don't know, or just let me know how good it is here. So yeah, I'll just have to contemplate that for a bit. But overall, all is good here in the Algarve. We have the best weather. Right now it's in Texas. I'm sure it's super hot. Here it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit right now, having a cloud covered day. So yeah, and it's usually between 80 and 60 Fahrenheit, probably most of the year with variations. February being the coldest. So I'd say it's a good place to be. And anyone that wants to get in touch with me, I think James already put up my contact information on one of his other videos. And when he puts this on his channel, I guess he could put it on that too if he doesn't mind. And
Yeah.
just trying to find some of my people. And I'm going to be interviewing Jerry Marzinski and Cherie Hatfield about Mace Energy Method and schizophrenia, because Jerry Marcinski's like an expert on that, on July 6th. And it might be on my new channel since I won't have my phone for my old channel, but it'll also be on Jerry Marzinski's channel. So if anybody's followed him at all, I just wanted to put that out there because I noticed that James's channel's been growing. He's been putting out a lot of videos. And yeah, I just wanted to get this information out, and James wanted to let y'all know that he's got an open invitation for people who want to come be free and live economically and naturally. Then this is the place to come.
I was going to say to you, Dave, with what's just happened, did the MACE method play a part in helping you get through that?
Oh, of course, yeah, because I eliminated all these negative identities that react instead of respond. That's what makes energy method does. And just having the
Right.
awareness about how our personalities work. We have positive identities like driving a car, planting plants, growing plants, doing whatever. If you have a profession, if you're a sibling, or if you're a spouse, those are all positive identities that you need to function every day. But then we also create negative identities in moments of trauma and make decisions like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, those kind of things. And then we get anxiety and depression and all these things that build up into negative identities. And then Mace Energy Method has this really genius way of eliminating those and just being aware of them. You notice if you have one, and then you can know you can get rid of one. And if two people, if one person knows how to do it, and like you can learn it by reading the book or watching the Mace Energy Method playlist on my other YouTube channel where John Mace gives a session, anybody can do it on anyone else, right? So you don't have to necessarily go to a
Yeah.
practitioner to eliminate negative identity, but to have the whole process, the Mace Energy Method, the whole process where we try to get to your ruin, that one identity that's been there your whole life and that's made so many others, we try to locate that and find it. And we do other things like relationship repair. And, we can work on body problems, addictions, phobias, all those kinds of things. But, it's a real involved process when you have a session. But as far as just eliminating negative identities, people can do that for each other. So that's pretty cool. So I highly recommend the book, Cosmism. And if you reach out, I can give you a PDF of the ebook of that. And yeah, it's very interesting. Mace Energy Method. If you haven't heard of it, look into it. And if it resonates with you, get in touch.
Excellent. So, yeah, I'm no stranger to that sort of, not the same scenario, but similar. And it's acknowledging, it's not suppressing the feeling of fear. It's acknowledging it. But think of it more as like it's a petition going to the government with with 1,000 signatures. It's like, yeah, I acknowledge that feeling's inside me, but it's not going to take control. That, to me, that's what it comes down to. It's mastering, acknowledging all the emotions we have inside in any moment, but then still being in control so it doesn't vent out in the wrong way.
Well,
Um,
the bottom line of Mace Energy Method is to have it where you only respond and you don't react, because when you respond, that's you, the spiritual being who you are. That's you responding. But when
yeah,
you react, that's a negative identity. So what the process does is it eliminates the negative identities. So you won't have irrational fear. You won't have irrational anxiety. You won't have irrational sadness. You know, they get eliminated. It's just amazing. And it's been around for 28 years. And Jerry Marzinski found it and started using it on schizophrenics before he even became a practitioner. And it was working just the way I was telling you. You can do it on another person once you learn how the system works without going through the whole process. And he was having, good outcome with that. And then now as a practitioner, it's the only thing he uses. And he says it works on everything: depression, anxiety, every so-called mental illness, and even schizophrenia, which nothing works on, but except for really hard cases of schizophrenia because the people can't focus enough. But
yeah,
he's the best testament to it. And he's the reason I became a practitioner. I saw an interview with him and he mentioned it, and I was like, what? And yeah, it's unbelievable. And yeah, so, and the way I offer it, I do have a fee, but I don't turn anyone away. So, I do still have to pay off my training, but if anyone like to try a session, I won't turn anyone away. And you can pay what you can, or if you can't, but it's be the best investment you ever made. It's initially a 2-hour Zoom call, and then a week later about a 45-minute Zoom call. And yeah, it's a process, and you can find out more about it at Causism. And if you go on Simplicity Revealed YouTube channel, you'll find information on any of the videos there about it and links. So James, yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I just wanted to
oh,
kind
you're
of get
welcome.
work. I want to stay on here too long, and I know that we have some of the same people that
Yeah.
follow our
Well,
channels. So might be some of my people might be able to find me through this, and yeah, I hope to see some of the people listening to this now show up in Portugal here and meet them in person.
that would be brilliant. That was my first thought. I thought, well, you've just started doing this Mace practitioner, um, and I thought it'd be just the way things go, that there'd be emails and then you won't receive them or you can't respond to them. And I thought,
Right.
I need, an, overlap of subscribers, so I thought, well, at least I can, and, 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 alert some of them and say, hey, look, you can still get in contact with Julia. This is why you can't, as it were. So here's a new email address, so there's nothing lost.
Right. So just take it from here. It is what it
Yeah.
is. Do what you got to do. So thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. Remember to stay focused on what you want and help others if you can. And thank you, James.
Very welcome. And thank you.
All right. Ciao, ciao.